Hello everyone, welcome to episode 34, live with Sirus Migration, bringing you lots of immigration updates and sharing our knowledge with you all, and giving you an opportunity to discuss your Australian migration related questions and inquiries with us live every Thursday at 3 o'clock. As we said the other day, today we've been a bit delayed due to other commitments that we had to complete on time. So as advertised, we're going to talk about the latest immigration topics, covering not limited to but inclusively general skill migration, work visa, business visa, global talent independent visa. We will touch base on the hottest topic we've got right now, the agri visa as well. On top of it, before we start, a little bit of housekeeping as usual. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button, so that somehow contributes to our channel and also help you get informed every time we put out informative information about latest Australian immigration news. So my name is Isuru Yapa. I'm an Australian registered migration agent, and I've got Ashani Yapa, registered migration agent, right next to me, joining us here today. So, should we start with the latest permanent residence information who's got granted a permanent resident visa under partner visa category just before we came on live. So among a lot of other grants this week, we have a partner visa granted for a permanent residency.
Yeah, actually, these days we've had really good outcomes of temporary and permanent partner visas. We can see that immigration is really giving attention to partners because I think we did mention this some months ago that they are prioritizing bringing Australian families together and also prioritizing partner visas. So not only the onshore partner visa where you can lodge the visa here, but even the offshore partner visa where the main applicant is not in Australia, we have seen grants, believe me, in 3 to 4 months. It used to take over a year and a half, but now it's really fast forwarded process. As long as we put a decision ready application, which means all the requirement is met, we make sure we do the health and police clearances and everything is there for the file for the case officer, we have seen some really quick grants. So
and also one other good news, and this is one of the latest news with the partner visas as well. Prospective marriage visa. Prospective marriage applicants, when the visa was granted, they had difficulties getting the travel exemption to travel. Now, immigration has advised that if you are a prospective marriage visa client, where you can travel in with a travel exemption without a problem. So, bit about prospective marriage visa for offshore client. If you're currently not married and if your partner is offshore,
yeah, and the requirement is you need to at least meet in person once, and you can't be married. So if you have never seen your partner, because I know some of our clients, they do have arranged marriages, so they have never seen their partner. But we do need documentary evidence to see that you have seen them at least in person once. Then you will be eligible for prospective marriage visa.
So the prospective marriage visa comes into place where you have a partner from offshore or outside of Australia, and then one of your partners are Australian, and you keep your ceremony to have the wedding in Australia, where then you got this opportunity to apply not straight into partner visa. You can go prospective marriage visa. You get 9 months visa grant. Then once you come to Australia,
you have to get married within that 9 months, and then you can go through the normal
spouse visa category
for the spouse visa. And also, don't get this confused. Partner visa is not a temporary resident applying for a visa for their partner, that is a subsequent entrant visa, or that's a dependent visa. Partner visa is specially designed if you're an Australian citizen or a permanent resident, to bring your offshore partners or partners who are not Australians into the country into a permanent visa. So that is what Australian partner visa is for. Normally it has 2 stages. First one is the temporary visa.
So normally it's for 2 years. But
yeah. And then from applying for the temporary visa, 2 years from applying for the temporary visa, you are eligible to be granted the permanent visa. Some of the really good things are, if you lodge this visa on shore, you're going to get full-time work rights, and also you're going to get Medicare benefits. So you can work unlimited, you'll be eligible for Medicare. If you're eligible for this visa, I think this is such a great visa to apply. If your relationship is genuine and if you know that you're in this for the long run, partner visa is great and a quick way to get you Australian permanent residency.
2 years to practice. So first 2 years, your partner's not getting the permanent residency. So, but they can still work, study unlimitedly, unlimited in Australia. So after 2 years, you just have to pretty much show that your partnership's continuing and genuine, and then you get the permanent residency for your partner, and then move on with your life. And so partner visa is a great option, and the complications comes where you have a previous partner, and also whether you have had other kids with the partner, the previous marriages, etc., etc. So, if you
could currently be married to another person. So, but it's still, in that case, there are possibilities we can lodge a partner visa, but not as a marriage visa, but as a de facto partner. So I think it's best that if you believe you're eligible for this visa, get in touch with a registered migration agent to find out if you're eligible for this visa, and then do it as soon as possible, because you probably already know there are some changes coming to partner visas. We haven't seen them yet, but I'm sure they will be implemented any time, where the main applicant and in some cases the secondary applicant needs to show their English ability before they get their permanent visa. Right now there is no such requirement. And also they're going to split the partner visa into 2, where you need to have the sponsorship application approved first before we can even lodge the main application.
Bit like for a work visa.
Yeah, better get it sorted before these
So right now with
comes.
the current conditions, you don't really necessarily have to be married either, not prospective. Even the partner visa itself, you can be a de facto partner as long as you can demonstrate that you've been living together and you have a continuing genuine
exclusive
relationship, then you can go ahead with your partner visa. So that's about the partner visa, I guess. And then just to be touch base with the agri visa. Agri visa is one of the most spoken about hot topics.
The latest visa to come.
Yes, we're expecting this visa to be started by towards end of the year, around December. They sort of the high authorities are currently drafting the regulations around it. So this visa will allow low skill agri farming sort of applicants to come to Australia and work. I guess it'll be for 3 years.
Yeah.
The country's been discussed to be expanded across Asia, Southeast Asia as well, like India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Pakistan. These countries, if you have agri background, you might be able to join it. So keep in touch. Stay tuned with our channels as well. We'll we will release latest information as they come out. So this is going to be another revolutionary visa category, and Australia's target in here, in my opinion, is to grow the agriculture or agriculture related workforce, as well as the productions
And I
from
think
Australia.
they are already struggling with the workforce to pick their crop.
This visa was like similar applicants were here through Pacific visa categories, and also it was an extended opportunity for working holiday visa applicants and work and holiday visa applicants as well. But now this has been expanded further with the working holiday and work holiday visas. It was only limited for certain countries. This will expand those number of countries as well. So agri visa, again, stay tuned. No one knows the full story yet. You will soon find out. My favorite, global talent independent. I guess most of our clients are up to date with the global talent independent requirements and the categories, and also which sectors, etc. If you don't know much about this visa, it's still the best option is if you're in one of these target sectors that is displaying on the screen right now, and if you're currently earning high income past 158,500 Australian dollars, and also if you have or else if you've got a recently graduating PhD, you may be eligible for this visa, having you have good health and character, as well as there is no specific age limit for this visa. We've seen financial sectors big growth, and I notice financial sector clients get picked up quite quick, and also there is a bonus attention towards Hong Kong applicants as well.
That's across all the categories, even subclass 482, the work visa and other visas. As long as you're holding a Hong Kong passport, as the government released this news, I think about a year ago, they are getting priority. So same with the GTI, if you're holding a Hong Kong passport, you will get priority.
So this is a fast track visa category. Once you get the invitations come through, you need we've seen applications getting finalized within a matter of weeks. The complicated part could be the getting the nomination or the invitation. You required to have a nominator as well. These days there's a lot of focus towards the nominator. The nominator has to be significant, and also not just having qualification. You need to show your global exposure, global talent, global awards to be eligible for this category, and your nominator has to be equal or higher than what your qualifications are. And then this nominator can be an Australian citizen, permanent resident, qualified New Zealand citizen, or an Australian company. So if you need any further information about this visa or category, be in touch. We're here to help. We've got a lot of experience behind this visa. Be happy to share our knowledge anytime. We've got a lot of frequently asked questions about where can we apply for SA and for offshore general skill migration. General skill migration, when it comes to offshore applicant, broadly the program is closed for for offshore clients, but there are opportunities in South Australia, Northern Territory and Western Australia. Not when your score is 70 or 75. I'm not saying that there
it's
is
not
a
just
specific,
a matter of score. You need to be on top of your game, to put it simply. You need to be really high talented candidate with really good prospects for the state to pick you, and you can't be from any occupation. There are very, very limited opportunities, but the opportunities are still there, and that's a very good sign that at least they've started this, and they are now talking about opening international borders, and the Qantas is talking about flying to some countries. This is really good news for our clients. So which kind of looks like Australia is hitting this target vaccination rates of 70%, 80%. So the country will one day eventually, hopefully very soon, open, and that will open general skill migration for a broader variety of clients, not just the ones that are in that high caliber, high sectors.
International students, stay tuned. This is there. I'll tell you some of the good hints we can take off from these hints that's coming up. So it is opening up slowly. So general skill migration, again, Victoria has completed the first round of invitations. There's a lot of attention they had given towards health sector, but this is not, don't be disappointed if you were not invited. You might, they'll probably come up with the next round soon, but with Victoria, if your ROI was not successful, then you have to put another ROI, as you may probably already know. So
also, before we move on with Victoria, there is a pathway for chefs and cooks. It's called the current workforce skills pathway for hospitality. So if you're a cook or chef in Victoria, now you can register your interest, which means you can put a ROI, but you have to be a really a candidate with high points or high caliber candidate. But it's a really good news because that sector was not open. This news came out recently. So there is a pathway called current workforce skills pathway. They've said to assist industry address labor shortages caused by the coronavirus pandemic, the Victorian government has established the hospitality pathway for high skilled cooks and chefs. So this is a really good news. So if you believe you're one of them, you have over maybe 85, 90 points, get in touch with the migration agent. Now you can register your interest for Victoria. For 190 and news. 491 both.
That's beautiful. 491 is the regional category. So that's GSM, but we didn't speak about Brisbane. I was expecting Migration Queensland to be open last Friday, so I guess this Friday.
Unless they've opened in the next last
No.
15
I
minutes.
just checked it just 10 minutes before we came in. It's they're not open.
No, they're not.
So hopefully very soon, because the indication was early this month, and then it was like in September. So we are right in the middle of September, so it should be open really soon.
Before the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are excited to see what's going to come up. Like Queensland had 491 small business owner category opened up all throughout the year until the last minute last financial year. And it was a really successful, good program. And hopefully there'll be more exciting opportunities coming up. And I was talking to a client this morning, and we were talking about there'll be other opportunities for cooks and chefs. Maybe, I don't know, there's a lot of categories they're expecting that they will be listed there as well. So that's mostly about GSM. I'm pretty sure that there'll be some questions. We'll come to that area again. We started this business visa series of videos. If you haven't seen it, go back. So the points table test and the first introductory visa, the information video is out now, so you can see it, and we will nail down into the individual categories and explain you further. So there are, we've noticed there's quite a few questions that unfortunately sometimes we won't be able to answer your questions straight away, but we will endeavor to come back to you. Being our subscribers, being our viewers, we always want to please you with as many information as possible, but given the timeline and the commitments we have in our hand, sometimes we won't be able to get to it straight away. But we're not ignoring you. We are aware of the questions. So before we type in later today or tomorrow, I'll show one of some of the questions were around when you come in a 188 visa, what are the work restrictions for the main applicant and the secondary applicants? Secondary applicant, no restrictions, you can keep working. Main applicant, the most there is again, you can work full time, explore businesses. You're not limited to do one business, you can do multiple businesses. But the thing is, if you don't fulfill your requirements within the given time, so these days you get 5-year visa, but you only get an extension of 2 more years. So if you have not done any business visa activities within these 5 years, you won't be able to fulfill your 888 or the permanent residency pathway to get there. So be mindful, but also the business visa is not there or not designed to come and work. It is designed for you to come and explore Australia and expand your business or start your innovative business plan, unless you go into investment categories. So look forward to a lot more information towards our videos coming up soon. So if you have any questions, share your questions. We have lots of experience behind us in business visa categories. We talk with a lot of different backgrounds, and we deal with a lot of different jurisdictions and also the taxation systems around the world. So we can share our experience and knowledge. This visa, one of the main part is you're not required to demonstrate high level of education or English at all, and
there's a higher age limit as well, 55.
55, and if you're just tossing about this idea, one of the hints are right now the age limit is 55. There are certain times that we have waived this 55 years, gone up a little further. And also, if you're going into significant visa, significant business visa or the investment visa, 188C, then there is no age limit. But certain states currently advertising that they're not keen to nominate anyone above 50 years of age. So there might be restrictions coming towards that way. So keep an eye out. If you're planning, don't leave it too long. Have a call, have a chat, set up an appointment with us. We'll share our knowledge again. Quickly touch base about work visa before we go into the questions. Work visa. 482 is the most famous business, the work visa. But before we talk about 482, I think we should be touch base about 407.
407, yes.
So once you have the qualifications, forget about point test, forget about skill assessment. For work visa, if you plan your pathway, you're not required to have points or skill assessment. So with the 407, you need to demonstrate that you have somewhat experience and there is a company or an operation willing to train you to have the full experience. So if you only have the academic qualification, and if you need to have some experience before you go into 482 visa, you can have yourself trained through this visa, and this is a visa opportunity for you. If once you have 2 years work experience during or after your academic qualification, then you might be able to go to 482 directly. If you have 3 years work experience with skills assessment and other requirements such as competent English, then you can, and also which is very important, any of these categories you require to have have an employer who's willing to sponsor you, whether you go to 407, 482, 494, 186, 191, all these categories. So then you can go to 482. 186, you can go straight into it, or you could go through the 482 categories as well. Depending on your occupation, you might have different options, different opportunities. So
I think most of my appointments in the last 2 weeks were 482 and 186, which we are seeing a huge shift from general skill migration into these categories. As we talk about Australian employers, they are struggling with employees and all this happening, and the PMS oil coming out, we can see how critical these occupations are. And I am having many phone calls from chefs to engineers to IT people from all over industries where employers are now willing to sponsor you. So if you're an employee and if you're working for an Australian company or an employer in any of the occupations, have a talk to them, tell them your situation, that I'm a temporary resident and I'm looking into staying here permanently, so getting a more stable visa. They may be interested in sponsoring you for one of these categories, and as soon as you have that conversation, then you can talk to a registered migration agent, find out what is the best category out of the ones that Isuru explained to you, depending on your eligibility and also your employer's eligibility. So explore the pathway. It is there for you. Some people don't know about this, but it's a great pathway which can offer you permanent residency in most of the cases.
We have had many inquiries from employers asking us, how can we do this? What's our obligations? What's our continuous obligations? What if we didn't pick up the right candidate, etc.? So employers, this is important. You got certain obligations that you have to carry on when you employing foreign employees, but if you're worried about you may not be able, you may not find the right person, there are no obligations for you to carry on the employment. If you don't like the employee, you can always terminate due to economic reasons or financial reasons or restructuring, etc. If you have any issues as a normal employee engagement, you can terminate or upgrade, but you have to follow the right pathway. And if you're looking for the right pathway, if you need support, contact us. We will guide you through and share our experience. With the employees, if once you talk to an employer and if they do not have experience in this regard, rather than you trying to explain or scare your employer away, maybe introduce one of the registered migration agents who are experienced in this category, so they can simplify it and explain it. Maybe they will also explain it to the employers and also to the accountants and simplify it. It's not a very expensive experience when you sometimes toss between this high recruitment fees. Sometimes you might have to pay, etc. And also some employers enjoy this because, especially if they're looking for a long-term commitment from an employee, you can rest assured that through 482 and 494 categories, next 2-3 years there won't be possibilities of losing the employees. So that's pretty much a lot from us updating you. We will give you the opportunity right now to discuss if you have any questions. So we'll go into both YouTube and Facebook. If you have a question, type your question down below in the comment section, and we will endeavor to answer as many questions within the given time. And if there are personalized specific questions, if we can't answer you right now, we will allow you to contact us directly through our office so we can have a personalized one-on-one chat.
Yeah, so I'll just go to the questions. I've got, this is from YouTube. Harash saying, hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Harash. I'm looking for immigration to Australia. So most of our clients are. He hasn't really told me too much. Actually, if when I go down, I can see more messages from you. I have been in Sydney for 2 years on student visa from 2008 to 2010. After I completed my studies, came back to India. Again, I'm very much interested to come to Australia if possible. Right way, come to Australia. Please help me again. Yes, Harash, get in touch with us. I'm very interested to know what you have done between 2008 after 2010 once you return to India and what you studied here in Australia. So depending on that, we should be able to find a pathway for you if there is one available for you to come to Australia. So that is from Harash. And I've got 𝗪𝗪𝗧. Does the 485 dependent has study rights? 𝗪𝗪𝗧, I'll actually talk about 485 visa a little bit. Subclass 485, a lot of people call it the graduate visa, which is given to anyone who studied in Australia some certain courses. There are two visas, post-study work visa and the graduate stream. Graduate stream is if you study a diploma or a trade qualification, and the post-study work visa is if you study bachelor's or master's. And you can get visa for a longer time if you completed a master's by research or a PhD. And to answer the question, subclass 485 visa doesn't have too many conditions. So there are no work limitations. There are no study limitations.
A lot of people call it temporary resident. It's like a permanent resident, but it's got a time limit for year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years, depending on which category
course you studied. So there are no study limitations or work limitations for the main applicant or the secondary applicant. So this is the answer to 𝗪𝗪𝗧's question. I've got Rohit saying good morning. Good morning, Rohit.
You must be in the right side of the world.
He's saying I'm applying for 482 visa as chef 11th of August. Please tell me when I receive my email. I have fulfilled all the requirement and done my medical. Only the police clearance certificate is pending. Rohit, please get your police clearance as well, because without it you will not get your visa granted. And he's also asking, ma'am, please tell 2-3 months count by department for visa in date of submission of application or when we will submit the medical and other documents. Normally, when we submit a visa, we submit a decision ready application, which means the medicals are done, health examinations are done.
Depending on the application, most of the work visas, and when we predict a time for it, it's almost decision ready. Certain visas like business visa, we do everything else except the medical, because that way it takes normally more than 18 months. Or parent visa these days, they get about 5 years, 4.5 years to process. So apart from that, most of the other visas we do it decision ready, including everything. So we get a faster response.
So, that is why we said it could be 3 to 4 months, because chef is in the priority list. But if you haven't done your police clearance, please do it and submit it. I don't think it will take 3 years from submitting the police clearance, but it is up to the migration agent as well. If the employer is in need of getting you here urgently, then they can write to the department and sort of ask for an expedite decision, as long as there are compelling reasons. So you should be able to get the visa granted very soon. That's Rohit. I've got 𝗪𝗪𝗧 saying I am planning to study next year. I am currently single and hoping to get married in Sri Lanka before completing 1 year of studies. How can I get my wife to Australia? So 𝗪𝗪𝗧 must be I am currently single and hoping to get married in Sri Lanka after completing 1 year of studies. So if you complete 1 year of studies and get married, so you will still be on your student visa. And then what we can do, we can add we can lodge a subsequent entrant student visa for your partner, so we can get her onto a student visa as well, or a student dependent visa. And if she doesn't get that visa granted in time, once you apply for your subclass 485 visa after studying in Australia, then we can lodge her a subclass 485 dependent visa, and she can come here on the 485. Depending on the border closures and openings and all that, she should be able to get either student dependent or subclass 485 dependent. He's also asking, is there any particular time frame to be married before applying for any dependent visa? Not really, as long as you can show that you had a genuine relationship even before the marriage and you've known each other for a while, or you have some credible evidence of the relationship, it should be fine. There is no such time frame. Okay, Tatsara is asking another question, and he says, sorry for asking multiple questions, just need to know the better option. I have 15 months of experience as a telecommunication engineer. Shall I apply for 476 or a student visa? Aim is to get permanent residency. 476 also is a great visa, Tatsara, but maybe don't apply for it yet because the borders are closed and we don't know when you will be able to come here. I don't want you to waste that visa either. And also keep in mind, once you get a subclass 476 visa, you're not going to be eligible for subclass 485 visa again. So if you're planning on coming to Australia, maybe student visa would be a better option. That will give you more time and that will give you more opportunities to get the subclass 485 and plan your permanent residency properly. Devin saying, hello, good morning, sir and madam. Good morning, Devin.
Good morning, Devin.
I've got Nitesh saying, if I'm currently in student visa who still has 1 year study left, can I apply for state nomination on 189 based on my previous experience?
Yes.
Yes, so subclass 189 is general skill migration. That's independent skill migration. There's no points awarded from the state. As long as you're eligible, there will be nothing stopping you from lodging a subclass 189.
So you need to have basically 65
65
points, but because you don't get any support from the state or territory, then as long as you have good results, good points, then yeah, definitely, why not?
Yeah, and Nitesh is also saying, will this violate the GTE rule? If a temporary visa was previously refused, and if I had reapplied the same visa and traveled to Australia, will that refusal history make me ineligible for GTI visa? No, I don't think that will make you. So you had a previous refusal, but then you had a grant and you're currently in Australia. That will not stop you from applying for any other visa. And also lodging a 189 while you're on a student visa, I don't think that will really violate your genuine temporary entrant rule since you have already got your student visa granted. Okay, Vishal saying, any news for offshore clients? I have applied for 491 South Australia with 80 points, including state points. Lodged the EOI in January 2021.
What's the occupation also, Vishal?
Occupation is ICT trainer.
ICT trainer, not a bad one, but I think 80 points could be a bit complicated. Being an offshore client as well, chances would be a bit slim until further travel
He only had
release
70
as well.
points.
So.
Oh no, sorry, that's a different one. So yeah, Vishal, you'll probably be waiting for a while because they are not officially open for offshore yet. I've got Rasika Pathirana. What is the possibility of getting 491 for civil engineer? I have 7 years of experience and 6 each band, only having 70 points. Rasika, I really want to know if you're currently in Australia or offshore. If you're here and you're working as a civil engineer, I think you have a really good chance. Civil engineer is also on PMSOL. I've been dealing with many civil engineers in the past couple of weeks doing 186s and 482s. It's a great occupation, really high demand from what I have seen. And employers are willing to sponsor their civil engineers. That is something I have seen as well.
Yeah, Rasika, maybe if you're employed already, you might have employee nomination pathways as well. Because you have the 7 years experience, maybe you might be able to go to 186 direct entry straight away, where you become a permanent resident rather than going through the 482 pathways. So, and because you're in PMSOL, rather than going through states, you might get permanent residence within a matter of a couple of months. So if you need any support, be in touch. Call us, email us, and we will set up an appointment for you.
I've got Gansham asking Sirus migration fees for TRA MSA skills assessment. Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it depends on everyone's.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the matter of time that we have to put down. It varies. The skill assessment fees varies from about $500-600 to $1,000.
Starts about
around
$600, and we look at your case before we quote anything, and we look at the prospects of you getting the skills assessment, and then we quote the fees depending on how much time and effort we need to put in towards your
and
case.
our fees are normally capped as well. We let clients pay in 2 installments, capped, so you don't get any surprises. We stick to one.
Watch YouTube is asking, is there any recent 186 direct entry offshore approval you are aware of, especially from India? Have to think about that.
Sorry,
I think 186 direct entry approvals. So 186 direct
Any
entries, no, any approvals we have seen in the past, in recent times.
Yes, we have 186 direct entry ICT analyst
from offshore from India
and a chef.
Yeah. So we have seen few, but it is processing. The visa is processing, and it doesn't matter which country it is from, especially if it's on priority skill migration occupation list. You will get the visa granted. Our last one was actually for an accountant. Yes, he got it granted during COVID, and we applied combined. For main applicant was here, but the family was offshore, and we got the visa grant, and the family I think just arrived and was in quarantine some time ago, so it is possible. I just remembered. Harash is asking, hi, currently how many points will processing file for PR visa? 80 or 90 points for migration to Australia.
Minimum it depends. Depends on your occupation and occupation ceilings. Sometimes you get invited when you're 65. Sometimes certain categories you got to go up to 100, 105. So we got the latest invitation round information we can share with you, but it varies from occupation to occupation.
Yeah. Okay, Ravi is asking, may I know which visa category falls under the employer nomination? When will the immigration opens? Immigration is open, but not for all of the categories and not for all around the world. The categories, do you want to maybe go to that screen? Employer nominated? Yeah. So these are the employer nominated categories, Ravi. Subclass 482, subclass 186, subclass 494, and subclass 191 is obviously a PR option for subclass 494. So these are the employer nominated visa subclasses.
Main part is for you to find an employer who's willing to sponsor you and who's capable of giving you a nomination. And then we got to work around your work experience and find out the most relevant occupation through the ANSCO depending on your job duties that you have performed, and then you got to match them through to MLTSSL, short-term skill occupation list, regional occupation list, Dharma list, and then you might have further incentives towards primary migration skill occupation list. Talking about ENS again, I just also wanted to highlight the government's talking about giving opportunities for short-term skill occupation list applicants to have a permanent residence pathway. So at the moment, if your occupation in STSOL and if you took a 482 visa for a short term, there is no permanent resident pathway. You cannot go to 186 if you in short-term skill occupation list. But there are discussions to keep the qualified employees in Australia and give them an opportunity to stay longer. So currently there are discussions to give short-term skill occupation list applicants an opportunity to go to permanent residence pathway. But this is not current or active, so it'll take a while. The regulations are not out there yet. I think we almost running out of time too, but we'll see. Is there many
Maybe
questions?
a couple of questions, not too many. Someone is, Julia Matthews asking, I wanted to know if you would be able to guide on subclass 188 entrepreneur visa, subclass 188E. Yes, we certainly
Definitely.
can guide you through. Get in touch with us. Send us an email, admin@sirus.com.au. All the details are displayed on our screen, and we will give you a free consultation to assist you with your 188E.
We will also share with you a questionnaire to fill out and then discuss what sort of idea you got to implement in here. 188E is a very good visa. It's a business and innovative visa under business and innovative visa category. You're required to have a good business plan. You're not required to have necessarily required to have business background or certain background, but then you still need to have someone in Australia who's willing to capitalize your business idea. So it's a very good business visa category. If as Ashani said, send us an email or call us on one of those numbers to set up an appointment.
I've got Heishan. Maybe we'll answer just two more questions.
Yeah.
I've got Heishan asking, I learned commercial cookery level 4 and diploma of hospitality management. So can I claim 10 points or 15 points? So if you studied a diploma,
10
maximum, you can only claim 10 points. But if you studied a bachelor's degree, then you should be able to claim 15 points.
But the good thing is, because you studied certificate 4, now you can call yourself and go towards the goal of chef, not a cook.
Yeah, and I've got Princess Tina. This would be our last question. Asking, my husband is a motor mechanic. He studied in Australia and professionally a program completed. Can he apply for 491 visa while holding 482 visa? He got 65 points without state points. Yes, that's nothing will stop you from lodging an EOI for 491, but be very mindful when you're in this situation. I think you should really talk to a registered migration agent, because if you get a 491 visa granted, that will limit you from either going back to a 482 or subclass 186.
Yeah.
Given that you're already holding a 482, you may already be eligible for 186 direct entry. You may. So you better find out all your opportunities.
It depends on what point of 482 you're in at the
Exactly.
moment. With 491, once you get the visa granted, you got to spend minimum of 3 years in regional before you can apply for 191 to become
That's the
permanent
only
resident.
pathway. That becomes your only pathway. So before getting in there, find out if there are better or other opportunities available, or the quicker opportunities available for permanent residency.
And also be mindful, certain states such as Tasmania, they would like you to notify your employer and get a consent form from the employer explaining that they are aware of you applying for the 491 visa. Depends on, there is no such requirement in Queensland at the moment, or Victoria or New South Wales, but Tasmanian government would like you to, state government would like you to have a consent from your employer stating that they are aware of your application to the 491 visa. My experience so far in this sort of requirement is people do look into other options when they're not certain with the employer, or there are issues with the employer, or employers are not willing to offer them 186 pathways as well. So it was lovely having you all today. It was a very productive live session. Unfortunately, we could not go through all your questions. That doesn't mean that we purposely ignored you. It's just the time limitations and the other obligations we've got in our commitment bucket as well. So wherever you joined us from in the world, if you have any questions, you're never far away. Send us an email. If we get in delayed, send us a message, or pick up your phone and call us. It's not we ignoring. We are very busy. We trying to cope up with the messages, and wherever we have time, we come back and answer your messages in YouTube, etc., to share our knowledge with you.
Yeah.
So until
stay safe, guys, and we will see you next week.
Thursday at 3 o'clock. Stay safe. God bless you all.